everyone. Hi. I see the hacker is here. The hacker shows up first, then they leave. They come back with different names. And look, they do the same thing all the time. The hacker is here. I see you. So does some other people. That's why I'm here. Welcome, everyone, to Vlog Media Breeze. Good afternoon. I know it's been a while since I have been on here, and I really do not even know if anyone is getting my videos, really. If you are, then please let me know because I know they're only revealing them to a couple of people. Um, they have really uh, stagnated the growth of this channel here. And it's weird because every time I say something about how they are doing blacks on YouTube, they go out and they create something black. Like now, they are showcasing black YouTubers now. It's just amazing how they gaslight you whenever you catch them in something. I digress, but good afternoon. Again, welcome to Vlog Media Breeze. This is where we discuss Real Housewives commentaries normally, okay? I also discuss in the news segments here, and sometimes, like today, I discuss commentaries about other YouTubers that are interesting. I don't get involved in the beefs or whatever grief other people have that they are bringing to YouTube that is so unadult-like and childish. It's not even high schoolish at this point. It's just retarded, really. When you come on to a space like this onto social media and all you can do is battle with other female YouTubers or other male YouTubers, you're just battling. You guys need some serious help, or you just need to go join the army because the US and Russia are about to go at it, and I'm sure they could use you. Okay? So so when I say I come on and I talk about other YouTubers, what I'm saying is that um like it's a very interesting case that went on, as we are aware, TashaK and CardiB. Very interesting case that recently went on. So things like that I will talk about. And I want to talk about it from a professional perspective and not the perspective of bashing anyone. Sometimes though, when you are straight up in your thoughts and you are exposing those thoughts to, out into the atmosphere, people will get in their feelings. They will get a little bit offended. So for that, I just want to say I'm not trying to offend anyone. I think it's important when you are in a space like, for example, where Tasha K is on YouTube, you where you really do depend on subscribers and viewers. It's important to listen to all sides and not be in your feelings the way that you are now. Tasha K is really in her feelings. Um, I looked, and I know I'm a little late getting on here. A lot of the YouTubers have already covered it, and quite frankly, most of them I've listened to. I've listened to Tisa Tells. I really like her channel. Of course, I listened to Bondi Blue. She's kind of like my first YouTube love. I She was one of the first, and then Tasha K. I can't remember which one. It was Bondi Blue that I listened to first, definitely, because I started listening, and then I caught on to Tasha K and the wine and stuff like that. But then I moved on and started listening to some other people, Michelle Atlian, things like that, people like that. Now I listen to Jamie, that's me. Who else? Oh, Contrary Canary. Definitely Miss Misha IMO. I love her out there in her land. Um, so I know a lot of people have covered this, even Kempire. I listened to him, he's covered this as well. DJ Richie Sky doesn't get involved in stuff like this at all. He's so positive, you have to love it. Um, but I wanted to take some time because Tasha K said a mouthful in her speech the other day, and I literally thought I thought she was running for president. I really thought she was running for president when I was listening to. I was like, wait a minute, let me check my ballot. But I really think you guys when I've listened to this a lot. I've lost count. I went back and listened to it because she kept talking about the machine. And I was in her comments trying to find out, okay, who is the machine? Because normally when you talk like that, you're thinking, okay, she's talking about the powers that be. Is she talking about the president? Is she talking about Congress, the Senate? Is she talking about all politicians? Is she talking about a conspiracy? Which she did say the word conspiracy in her speech. So I wanted to go back and talk about that and kind of give you uh, some information on that and my commentary on it as well. Um, but she says she's battling with the machine. Tasha opened up her, and let me tell you, I think I when she said she's taking this to the Supreme Court, I really think that that speech that we heard, the reason it sounded literally presidential, you guys, it did. The reason it sounded like that is because I think that's the actual speech she's probably going to use before Congress, right before they determine if it should go to the Supreme Court. Because you have to sometimes sit before Congress before things go to the Supreme Court. And I think she was practicing her speech in that way. Um, I want to be real clear though about the Supreme Court. I think I read they turned down like 5,000, I mean thousands, thousands. And I think the last I saw was 5,000 maybe. It's in the thousands, you guys. They of cases that they just don't even look at, that do not even reach them. In fact, Texas was having a battle with the Supreme Court trying to get them to look at the abortion law that they have. And to this day, I don't even know. I probably should have checked that before I came on here. I don't even know that they have even listened to that. So for Tasha K to think that the Supreme Court is going to it would surprise me. It would surprise me if the Supreme Court took on her case. It really would literally surprise me because there's nothing. People keep saying that she has set a precedent. Legally, when you're talking about the term precedent, you're talking about a trial or a case that took place that changed a law or changed how we now do things. Tasha K's case did not set a precedent. What it did was it upheld laws that are already in power, like defamation of character, slander. People were saying that Cardi filed a libel case, which was, I was like confused because I know libel is when someone writes something in a newspaper about you or if they write about you. And slander is if they verbalize it. And the things that she did on her channel were more verbal. I don't recall her printing anything anywhere, although that could be the case. I could have missed that. Um, but her case did not set a precedent because legally it would have to have changed a law or changed something about defamation of character. And it didn't do that. There were no laws changed. There was just a judge, and it was in federal court, and they had a jury, and the jury ruled, and the jury ruled based on the laws that are already in place. So I think that instead of saying it set a precedent, what it did was it has now opened up the eyes to other content producers or content providers on YouTube who did not know about defamation of character, or it's probably helped them to further their study into it to make sure that they are not in violation. So I would say that it did that. Um, and even for someone who knows as much as I do, it woke me up. I mean, the case woke me up. I'm like, okay, I really need to be cautious about how I come off because I can be a little bit preachy at times. Okay. But Tasha K's speech, she started out talking about what the last 4 years had done for her because the last 4 years is where this case has been. But if you look at everything and how it started, Um, it started with her bashing Cardi B, who is, a hip hop star. And that's where it started. It started with her interviewing and allowing something to take place on her channel that defamed this woman's character, and Cardi B felt like it defamed her character, right? And you would have to say Cardi B has a big heart. And a lot of times when you hear people, yelling the loudest, that is what that means. It means they do have a big heart. And I know on Love and Hip Hop, when Cardi B was there, on that channel, on that show, a lot of times she seemed a little boisterous, but then you could tell that she wanted to be a better person in spite of how she came across on the show, even at the reunion when she was getting up to fight somebody. um, you could tell she wanted to be a different person, and that she always felt like she was, being attacked, so she had to protect herself. And people look at someone like that very different because they see them as a person open to changing and doing better, as opposed to Tasha K, who's not even willing to apologize for something that she said out of her mouth or that she allowed to happen on her channel. She thinks she doesn't owe Cardi B an apology. And that's because I don't know why she has so much venom for her. If the things happen to Tasha K that she said happened, which that they sent some gangs to threaten her and her family, I do understand that. I do get that. Um, at the same time, you have to look at what happened to cause that, to bring that into your life, because what happened, what is the origin that caused all of this breakdown? And it has to do with the interview with Star Marie, and it has to do with your continuing to say things about someone that's not true. That's not okay. That's not okay. So when you say in your speech that you've been fighting a conspiracy case, what is the conspiracy? This is why I think that this speech was something that she really wrote ahead of time, to because she's going to read it again in front of Congress or the Supreme Court or wherever she's planning on taking this case, if it even gets that far. And I don't think it is, because the Supreme Court is going to go backwards looking at everything, and they're going to see that she said on the stand that she lied, and they're going to shut it down. She's not even going to be able to read this speech to them. There is no a lot of what she said would ring true if it didn't apply to her case. That a lot of what she said was true, but it's not true for her. It was not applicable to what she's going through. And she took what she was reading and tried to apply it to what she's going through. And it's just not that. It just is not. And there is no conspiracy against Tasha K. If you have a million or had a million subscribers, and the fact that those numbers are going down should tell you that people want to hear you apologize. People want to be down with you. People want to love on you. And then you say things, I don't know what, I just don't know. You love to entice people and into things that are just not true. You said something to Dr. Heavenly about Melody Holt, and then after that, everybody, all of the Love and Marriage Huntsville gang, unsubscribed from you over there on Instagram. They all have left. I didn't even know they were all following you, but they were. They were all following you, and they left. They left Tasha K. So you have you you're not a journalist. I need to be real clear. You do need to go to college to be a journalist, you guys. That's first and foremost. Or a network somewhere has to label you a journalist. You are a YouTuber, a content producer on YouTube. And that's it. I mean, I know Tisa said that she could be a journal an opinionated journalist kind of. No, I'm an opinionated journalist, okay? And I did go to college and major in communications. So, anyway, she said she's learned so much. Right after that statement, it would have been really good for Tasha K to tell us at least one or two things that she has learned. Because when you're writing things like this and you make statements like that, you need to follow it up with something. She said she wouldn't change a thing. So tell us, why wouldn't you change a thing? What was so great about this process that you wouldn't change a thing? A lot of people love to claim they live with no regrets. And listen, I have a lot of regrets. I'm just gonna put it out there. I have some regrets. If I started telling you my regrets, you'd fall asleep. Um, so to say you wouldn't change a thing means you don't regret that all of this happened. I mean, this is $3.8 million that you could be given to your family somehow, your kids, just giving it to your daughter as a gift when she graduates high school. She says the verdict was not a shock to them. So the verdict was not a shock. Is that why your attorneys were so bad? Because you are talking about your attorneys as if they are the shish. They were horrible. They were horrible. First of all, I just learned about a week ago that they were actually criminal attorneys. So that's number one. I mean, this whole Tasha K, and I don't know if she's listening. I did do a hashtag to her name because I am reviewing her speech and I'm doing a commentary on it. So I do want to give credit for that. I'm getting this information from her channel. This is her speech that she gave, and I'm just giving you an update on the machine because I'm about to tell you who the machine is, okay? Um she said they had prepared for it. Her attorneys weren't prepared. The judge, are you kidding me? The judge admonished them the whole way through to let not just and I don't really care for the guy Dennis, who also calls himself a journalist, by the way. Listen, journalists are objective. He's not a journalist if you just look at that, because he has not liked Tasha K from the beginning. So anything he had to say, I was not on his Instagram channel the way all these other YouTubers were. They see one person and they think, oh, he's the one, he's the one, he's the one. He's not the one, okay? Why are you listening to him? Do you know what he has caused this woman and her family? He hates her. He's not going to be objective. So I did go, that's why I went and I started listening to Tisa, because I know that Tisa is highly objective, analytical, and speaks with a lot of intelligence and excitement too. So a lot of excitement. Anyway, she said that that they became upset. They called her bluff because she went up against the machine that wanted to bully her for not wavering from her personal beliefs. So the machine, this is what the machine did to her. The machine bullied her. How did the machine bully you? See, in this speech, it sounded presidential, right? If you just listened to it, because you know the president also presidents in the past when they give their speeches, they also give a bunch of hogwash, make a lot of statements, and don't follow it up with anything. So this speech was highly political. Okay, how did they bully you? They wanted to call your bluff um, because you went up against the machine who wanted to bully you for not wavering from your personal beliefs. How did they bully you? And you said the verdict was prejudice against you. Um, okay, I wanna stop right there because I do recall hearing. I'm gonna say this. I don't like when judges admonish witnesses or plaintiffs in the presence of a jury. If it's just you and the plaintiff standing there and the judge admonishes you, that's different than if he does it in the presence of the jury. Because when he starts to do it in the presence of the jury, that creates prejudices in the minds of the jury. That does happen. And I do believe that that played a role in this case. So I'm just giving you guys my two-sided commentary here. Um, I actually completely love Tasha K. The only thing I cannot get down with is the fact that okay, she said that she knew her videos were not honest. So if you knew that, I can't I think you do owe an apology to Cardi B. I do think an apology needs to be said. But when we look at the way at this piece right here and how the judge kept admonishing you, and also judges normally will not admonish attorneys in the presence of a jury. They will admonish attorneys in their office. They will call a recess and they will have the attorneys come to their office and they have those conversations in private. They don't do that in the presence of the jury. So whenever I heard that the judge was doing this and Tasha K is saying a prejudice verdict against her, I'm going to have to go with her on that, on that part right there, if that's what she is saying. We all know she's a wife of 17 years, a mother to beautiful children. She has a beautiful family. We can't take anything away from that. And as likable as people were saying Cardi B is, Tasha K is also very likable, okay, to a lot of people, you know. So I digress on that part, right? Let's see here. She said that her First Amendment rights were painted, um, her First Amendment rights was painted as a threat to the machines. So I'm going to get into the machine here, okay? She says the machine wanted to bully her for not wavering from her personal beliefs. She said the machine has corporate interests to protect, and I don't know if I can say these words here, okay? But my channel is not monetized, so I should be able to say it. Has She says this is the machine, okay? Has corporate interests to protect prostitution, drug use, promiscuity, and to glorify the violence that wreaks havoc on our society and in our neighborhoods. Perfect. That is true, you guys. That's a true statement. Does this statement apply to Tasha K's case? No. And if it does, she needs to break it down. She needs to listen to all of the YouTubers, including my channel, and go back and do this speech again and break it down for us. Okay, tell us how this applies to you. Because we know that the powers that be have corporate interest in our, mainly the Black community. We know that they have that interest. They have interest of bringing illegal things into the community, and they've done that for decades, a century, literally, even more than a century. They just do it differently now. But this does not apply to your case, Tasha K, not that I can see. She went on to say the machine, um, it not only wreaks havoc on that, but it glorifies, and to glorify itself, it is sold to our children as the it factor. Do you guys know where the it factor came from? And I hate to bring this icon into this, but it came from Oprah. Oprah first started talking about the it factor on her show when she was talking about people who have talent, and you see they have talent, but you just can't put your finger on it. They have the it factor. Um, so she's saying that the machine is involved in that. She says that they secured an extremely prejudicial verdict against her and her company solely off of sympathy and and payola, and asked her to redact the real reason she was reporting on the issues at hand. Is she trying to send a message to us when she says this? Because she says that they they asked her to redact the real reason that she was reporting on the issues at hand. Who asked you to do that? And where does this fall into your issue? Is this something that took place in court? Did you receive a phone call? And she says it succeeded in making her out to be an angry and malicious woman. And you know, angry and malicious are right now racist terms that are used against black women. These are terms that we don't like because white people love to apply this to us. And it's come to the point where even a lot of black males out there, you guys, there is so much black male misogyny. They hate black women. There's so much of that going on right now, more than I've ever seen in my life, because I'm in my 50s, as I always say to you guys. So I grew up in an era when black men loved black women. And that's all you would see black men, you would see a black woman. They were married to them. And that has slowly dissipated. And you know, I'm looking at the commercials on TV sometimes, and I'll see a black man with a white woman often in commercials. There are a lot of commercials that depict that. The commercials, you know, now that's true. Everything she's saying here is true. It's just that when she gave her speech, we this is this should have been preserved for a whole nother speech that was not related to your trial that you just completed. When you were coming off of your trial, Tasha K, we wanted to hear you apologize, and we wanted to hear you um take uh, be accountable. Ain't that what you told Akbar the other night? Be accountable. We wanted to hear you be accountable. How are you going to give a speech not showing any accountability, and then 2 nights later interview someone and tell them to be accountable? That's hypocrisy. It makes you look cognitively dissonant. So, it says her First Amendment rights were painted a threat to the machine. So the machine took her First Amendment rights and painted them with the sole intention to mislead the public with caricatures built on violence and selling S. I don't know if you can say that here, this here, but the S that begins with the S and ends in an X, and it's 3 letters. Figure it out. Of a denounced stereotype. So that's who she's calling the machine. She also says she tells us to look at Chicago and LA. These in other cities. These are cities Kids can't sit in their own living room and get their hair braided without worrying about bullets flying through and killing them, unlifing them. This happens. I've heard stories about this. But this doesn't apply to her case. Is this the speech that you prepared to go before Congress with? And you were just using us as practice. Um, she also says the machine influences our children on how to unlife other people and how to use their their temples for money. Like our the bodies. That's what she says the machine does. The machine teaches our children to be degenerates, and she said that public figures should not push the agenda of the machine. So she's saying, in essence, politicians and black politicians are pushing the agenda of the machine. And instead of apologizing for the defamation of character, which did take place, you guys did, she said that this case was not about defamation or invasion of privacy, that it was about the machine who pushed this on our community for profit. So the machine pushed this case onto our community for profit. That makes no sense. That is almost hilarious. That makes no sense. And she said something about the machine needs, instead of doing the right thing by earning her respect, that they did the wrong thing through this trial. TashaK, who wrote this speech for you? Who wrote this speech? She says she represents new age media. Um, I just don't think she was talking to us. Those of us who were listening, I think she prepared this or someone wrote this for her, and this was her practice for her presentation to prepare to go before the Supreme Court. I mean, go back and listen to it, if you will. She says her spouse, encouraged her to fight this case from the beginning. TashaK, you need to hire a business advisor quick. You need to hire a business advisor quick because um this speech is so all over the place. It's not even your husband. People were saying, and I was not in court, but I do know everyone that I listened to, even the lead attorney. I went over to his channel to hear what he had to say about it. Um, Anonymous T, the people who what's her name, Lily the Lily the red lipstick hustler, who was over on Tisa's channel, and another attorney named attorney Jonda. They were in court, and all of everything that they said, and they don't these people, I listened to them and then I listened to other people, everything is the same. They all said the same thing. They said that your husband got on the stand, and I'm not saying he testified against you, but they did say that his testimony was opposite of yours when it came to your business. So if he encouraged you to fight this case from the beginning, you guys didn't have it. You didn't sit down and really talk about this case because you should have been, your attorneys actually should have been preparing you for certain questions, both of you, and even preparing you for how you should answer those questions. Also, Your attorneys should have let you know what type of questions Cardi B's attorneys was going to ask you, because all of that is information that is gathered pre-trial. There's a pre-trial conversation wherein the attorneys from opposite sides can have a conversation about what they are looking for. And then they go back and they talk to their client. Well, Cardi B's attorneys did an outstanding job with her. Your attorneys failed big time. They should not have even been there. They are criminal attorneys. They should have referred you to someone who could help you. And I said this in my previous videos. I've said this all along. From the beginning, even before this trial began, I said, your attorneys are bad. The fact that you even got your initial case thrown out, that made them bad right there. I could have got you to win something even in that one. Um, so I digress. She did finally say that the videos were taken down because she respects the law. Well, it was the law who sent you that cease and desist, whether you know it or not. An attorney is the law as well, even though they're not the police and they don't go around putting handcuffs on you, having you arrested. Attorneys are the law, you guys. So an attorney who sends you a cease and desist, that's the law coming for you. So you don't respect the law. You just waited till the last minute because you were actually uh you were just trying the law. That's what you were doing. You were trying the law like you are now, talking about this is going to the Supreme Court. You need to sit down, apologize, figure out how you're going to pay that girl her money, be humble so you can get blessed. Because this route that you're going now is not the route of a blessing, Tasha K. Be humble. Being humble is how we get our blessings. And I've had to learn that the hard way as well. So I'm telling you, you need to take the L on this one. Look at yourself in the mirror, cry, kick, scream, run, do whatever you need to do to be humble. But after you've done your crying, your kicking, and your screaming, you need to come back on air and apologize, and you need to have your attorneys communicate to her attorneys how this money is going to be dispersed and put it behind you. That's how you humble yourself. Not, oh, I'm going before the Supreme Court. Now, you look real stupid. And I don't even like that term. My grandmother always used to say, don't call nobody stupid. Don't call nobody a fool. Don't know. We couldn't say those words. We couldn't even say but, B-U-T-T. We couldn't even say like kiss my butt. Like most people were saying kiss my everything else. And we were like stuck on, okay, we can't even say but. Okay. So but I'm grown now. Okay. So I'm gonna say you look real stupid. Sorry, mud papa. I- but she's looking real crazy out here. Okay, real crazy. You look real crazy. I don't want to say take the L because I said that earlier. Sometimes that makes people feel like a loser. You're not a loser if you are humble. Being humble doesn't make you a loser. Being humble actually makes you a winner. It says I'm going through something in my life right now. This has happened, and I'm gonna have. I just want to take this. I want to be humble real quickly and get it over with, so we can move on. That's what you do. Okay, come back on. Say your apology. You're not taking this to the Supreme Court. I'm gonna leave this where it is. My attorneys will be in touch with her attorneys. If you don't mind, give my family and I some time to emotionally gather ourselves, even if you need that. And you'll get your million back, honey. Your million subscribers will come back. But if you move forward with the Supreme Court thing, you're going to lose even more subscribers because Yah has spoken. And in his word, he tells us to be humble. So anyone who goes after that, whether you worship or serve the Yah or not, whether you serve the Lord or not, it can happen to anybody. If you go against just, being humble, you're going to get it too. This case is going to bring you all the way down. Leave it alone so you can be free and move forward. So she goes on to say they tried to have her arrested and they threatened her life. No one should be threatening anyone's life. And this is a civil case. So I don't know why you would need to be arrested for this. This is a civil case. Um, unless something else came into play as this case was being played out. I last checked and she's down to 995 subs. That is no longer 1 million. And that means that your supporters, your ads, the companies who support you will eventually move out one by one. That will happen if they start to see you are losing subscribers. So you're going to have to really sit down, put on paper, and weigh some things out. And when you have to be humble, the thing that I have learned is do it quickly. Because it is an embarrassment. It makes you feel like you are just dropping, like you're melting to the floor. It does. So just I've learned, okay, do it real quick and come back. Okay? Do it real quick and come back. Okay? So that's what I would say to Tasha K. And that's all I have for you all. I wanted to come on and just give my 2 cents on that. And I was going to put something. I don't know if anyone was here and they wanted to come down in the chat and talk about this. We could do that. I know normally they don't, um, but let's see here. Let's just see if they will. I'll give it a few seconds here, and if not, then I will just say, goodbye. I also think that this is the same person. I just think it's the same person. It's like one person comes over here, and that's the hacker that we're watching. We're watching you. I want you to get caught. That's why I'm not doing anything. I can't wait for you to be locked up. Now you require a criminal attorney when we get with you, okay? Loser. So, I guess no one is going to grab this, and the fact that they are not, that lets me know that these other 7 people on here are all the same person. So I just want to say thank you for joining me today. And, remember to mind your spirit, and peace, love, and many blessings to you.